Namaskar, I'm Dr. Nikita Batra, Assistant Professor of School of Mass Communication at JCRC University. So today we are starting with the first episode of our podcast, and we thought to start with someone who has contributed to the development of our nation. So he is none other than Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. And to have the great insights about this wonderful man and to know about more about him and how he is relevant to our present scenario, we have with us today Professor and Dean, Mr. Narendra Kaushik, and he's the man who knows, we could say, the more detailing about what kind of a man Mahatma Gandhi is, and his PhD also is on the same topic, Mahatma Gandhi. So let's have a chit chat, a little podcast session with Dean and Professor Mr. Narendra Kaushik. Sir,
thank you, ma'am.
Welcome to the show. So I just wanted to, let's start with something, what exactly, how, the young generation is coming and they are actually not knowing about the man who has contributed immensely to our nation. So let's start with something that you can actually tell them how he has contributed it and how is relevant today.
Let me tell you, ma'am, when you talk of Mahatma Gandhi, ideally, you should be talking about his principles. And he had 11 principles. And out of these 11 principles, at least 5 of them were bigger kind of principles. And he always abided by these 5 principles. Though he evolved on many of these principles. And but let me tell you, the first principle was truth, and he always stuck to it. But truth is always relative, and Gandhi also accepted it. In fact, he talked about this number of times, because you must have heard about that phrase where somebody says, "Ek aadmi mein dekhe 10-20 aadmi." Okay, and let me tell you that that applies to Mahatma Gandhi also. Mahatma Gandhi was not one man. There were a number of Mahatma Gandhis. If you look at Mahatma Gandhi, who walked on this planet before 1920, then he was a different man. And I won't even contest Arundhati Roy, who says that he was half casteist. I would say he was before 1920. But he was half casteist because he believed in casteism. He was against interdining. Then he was for caste vocations. Then he was against intercaste marriages, let me tell you. But after 1920, and in fact before 1920, his second son, Manilal, he wanted to marry Fatima in South Africa. And I also had a conversation with Tushar Gandhi on this. I told him that your grandfather wanted to marry Fatima. And he said, yes, that's true. But my great grandfather didn't allow it. Because in those days, Mahatma Gandhi, he believed in these things that, in fact, he wrote to, he told Manilal, you are a Hindu, she is a Muslim, so how the two of you will get along. So this was Gandhi. But let me tell you, after 1920, in fact, even in 1920, he was not for intercaste marriages. His youngest son, Devdas Gandhi, he fell in love with, C. Rajgopalachari's daughter, the first Governor General of independent India. He fell in love with that girl called Lakshmi, and Gandhi made him wait for 5 years. And he made him wait for 5 years. During these 5 years, he he turned his views upside down. Earlier, he was against intercaste marriages. Then he made it mandatory for everybody in his ashram to go for intercaste marriages. Okay, he was against interdining. Then he went for interdining everywhere, at every other place. Then earlier, he was for caste vocations. But then he said, no, I don't stand by caste vocations. He changed his views on that also. And then, he changed his views you can say that he did 360 degree. Yeah. So there were two Gandhis. One was there before 1920s, and there was another Gandhi who was completely different, who campaigned for eradication of untouchability.
Yeah.
And he traveled like across the country, across the length and breadth of the country. He would go to Kerala, he would stay there with untouchables, and then at number of places he made sure that untouchables are allowed entry in temples. So he did a lot of things.
Yeah.
He did a lot of things. Then if you talk about non-violence, again on non-violence, yeah, I would say, if I say that he wasn't much of a success, then I wouldn't be entirely entirely wrong. You know why? Because he wanted Congress party to adopt non-violence as its policy, which Congress didn't do. He wanted India to adopt non-violence as a state policy, which India didn't do. Okay, and let me tell you, even on non-violence, he changed. Like initially, he was for passive resistance, and in fact, he formed three sports clubs in South Africa, football clubs. And during halftime of these clubs, he would lecture the sports persons on passive resistance. But later on, he changed it to active resistance, and in fact, initially, non-violence was also passive non-violence. Then it became active non-violence. And let me also tell you, when Pakistan attacked, those in the form of tribals, when Pakistani army personnel attacked J&K in 1948, and Gandhi was there that time. Then Gandhi again changed his position. He changed his position on non-violence, and he said, I am with the defender. Okay, so he evolved on non-violence as well. And in fact, initially he had huge differences with Subhash Chandra Bose. They had differences almost on every other issue. But when Subhash left India, when he sneaked out of India, Gandhi became a huge admirer of Subhash Chandra Bose. And in fact, the Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, he writes in his book, India Wins Freedom, that I was like completely shocked that a person like Mahatma Gandhi is defending, he's become an admirer of Subhash Chandra Bose. He didn't like him earlier. I didn't like, I would say, he didn't like his principles. He was against his principles. They had differences. Differences on ideas. But then subsequently, after Subhash sneaked out of India, he became a huge admirer of him. And in fact, after they got that news that Subhash died in that crash, after that Gandhi said, no, I can't believe this. I can't believe that Subhash can die without achieving freedom for India. He said, no, I don't believe this. वो तो मर ही नहीं सकता जब तक वो नहीं आज़ाद करा देगा देश को. He had become such a big admirer of Subhash. And then after this crash was confirmed, even after that, he wrote a letter to Subhash's mother saying that he made a supreme sacrifice. So he changed almost on everything. And this is human. All of us, we evolve. Sometimes we evolve into better human beings. Sometimes we evolve into worse also.
So do you think, sir, we are talking about the principles, does this exist in today's scenario also? And if yes, how the world can benefit from these principles?
Hugely, ma'am. Hugely. Gandhi will always be relevant. Why? Because Gandhi is about truth. And truth means it's an ideal. Okay, it's a value. All right. Truth was truth even in Rama's times. Okay, truth was truth in Jesus' time. Truth is truth. Truth was truth in Gandhi's times also. So it will never be irrelevant. It will always be relevant. And then look at what is happening in the world. Russia has attacked Ukraine. Then, I mean, look at our own country. PFI has been banned. That Popular Front of India has been banned. In fact, government banned it only yesterday. So there's communal strife. There are communal differences, and you must have seen those reports that RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat had a meeting with Muslim intellectuals. And good is that it's good that they are trying to sort out their differences, because we'll have to coexist. And Gandhi is extremely relevant, because Gandhi, let me tell you, he was the biggest biggest promoter, or biggest propagator, or biggest votary of Hindu Muslim unity, in fact unity of all religions.
Yeah.
So Gandhi is definitely relevant.
Okay, sir. So as we know that 2nd October is coming, and it will mark the 153rd birth anniversary of Gandhiji. So how should we observe the Gandhiji's birthday?
I'm sure you must have seen Lage Raho Munna Bhai.
Yeah.
In Lage
of
Raho
course.
Munna Bhai, when like Sanjay Dutt is asked, how should we observe Mahatma Gandhi's birth anniversary or death anniversary? Then, in fact, he's asked that question: what should we do with the Gandhi's statues, and with Gandhi's posters, or with with the roads named after Gandhi? What should we do with these? And then he says, you throw, like, you demolish all these. Don't leave these things. And instead he said, instead of celebrating my life through these things, through these memorabilia, you should adopt my principles. You should abide by these principles. And these were not his principles, let me tell you. These are eternal principles. Like, I mean, look at Gautama the Buddha. He also propagated non-violence. Look at Christ. He propagated non-violence. Look at Rama. It was all about truth.
Definitely.
So these are the values which have been there for eternity.
But for that particular day, I think we all should try to abide for that day also the principles given by this wonderful man. So,
surely.
Is there anything the present leadership in India can learn from Gandhi?
Surely, ma'am, surely. What we need in India is, we need pluralism. And let me tell you why we need pluralism. Because, India belongs to people from diverse faiths, people from diverse religions, people from diverse castes. The number of castes which probably India has, no other country will have. You have castes only in Japan.
Yeah.
We don't have castes in other countries. So definitely, I mean, our leaders, our present leadership, they can learn from Gandhi, and they should try to build a plural India. Let me tell you, let me be very honest on this. Gandhi was not a leftist, nor was he a rightist. He was all for truth. And if you read Gandhi, he would lambast Christians for conversions. He even lambasted Islam for conversions. Okay, but nobody talks about it because it doesn't suit them. Okay, he was against cow vigilantes. All right, but nobody talks about it because it doesn't suit them. All right. So, but we need a plural India. We need pluralism in India. If the country wants to go ahead, wants to be developed country, then we definitely need this. And our leaders, they must imbibe these things from Gandhi.
Definitely. I completely agree with this. Okay, sir. So my next question is, if Gandhi had been alive, so how would he react to the current scenario?
That's a very difficult question, ma'am. That's a very difficult question because Gandhi belonged to a certain era. And in fact, sometimes we also say that man is a creation of circumstances. Okay, so probably he became a great leader because we were ruled by a British. But let me tell you, had he been alive today, he would have still emphasized on these principles. He would have emphasized on these eternal principles like truth, non-violence, and I'm sure Hindu-Muslim unity of all religions, in fact, and then eradication of untouchability. Let me tell you again, now if you look at eradication of untouchability, he was not really a success there. Because he wanted to eliminate casteism through moral force, and he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it in his lifetime. But let me tell you, he would have still tried. Had he been alive, he would still have tried. Yeah, and then he was a big votary of Savdeshi. But he was a votary of other things also, which may not be relevant today, like celibacy. So there were a number of other things. But let me tell you, he would have stuck to his guns. I mean, whatever little bit I have understood about Gandhi, I'm sure he would have stuck to his principles.
No doubt. That is the reason that people refer to him as the father of nation.
Yeah.
And I think he does not command respect only in India, but in the entire world.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, and people respect him with this thing. And we should be very proud to have this man with us who has actually contributed for the development of our nation.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, sir,
Thank
for
you, ma'am.
coming today and giving us the insights and intricacies regarding the Mahatma Gandhiji. Thank you so much, sir. And we wish our audience also a very happy Gandhi Jayanti, and let's celebrate it with the pride and joy. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.